I think it's evident I'm the better man, I'm the jam. I'ma have you crushing like a four-wheel monster. Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor, I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up, ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse, you make a fire. I'll add the fuse, all on my head. Just watch the shoes, gotta turn the heat up.
I know you're the color in the last tide. Never shake things up kind. Don't speak your own mind. I know you, everything has limits. Obey, don't ask questions. You're the one trying to make me listen. My head was made for the clouds. Want me, come get me, I'm not coming down. Are you mad? I don't care. Don't understand? I don't care. I'm just here to pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble, pop. I'm just here to pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble, pop. Think you can control me, but you don't really know me, so I'm just here to pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble, pop. I know you, dreams are way too risky. Scared of anything you find too tricky. Don't let me, I'm too witty. I know you, with your do's and do-nots, trying to get me to stop, but you're in for a shock. My head was made for the clouds. Won't make them get me, I'm not coming down. Are you mad? I don't care. Don't understand? I don't care. I'm just here to pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble, pop. I'm just here to pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble. I think you can control me, but you don't really know me, so I'm just here to pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble, pop, pop your bubble.
Hey,
DJ Simi.
hey, thanks, DJ Simi. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome to the State of Women launch party. I'm Gina Brillon, and we are so happy that you are here to virtually party with us.
Gina, I miss you.
I miss you. I miss you so much.
Well, I'm Kimberly Brooks, and yes, we're the host of the State of Women. And you know, you have to put that little pause in between it. The State of Women. Yes, yes, yes. So we're a podcast that explores how some of the 50 states get women's issues right and others clearly don't. In fact, when you break it down, we're less like the United States of America and more like the divided states of America when it comes to women.
That is true. But we are thrilled to have some exciting special guests with us today who are driving women's equity in positions of power. And speaking of equity, put your thinking caps on because we're going to play some equity trivia later on. And we'll also give you a sneak peek of our first episode.
Like right now. So let's kick this
right now.
Yes, right now. We're going to kick this off with a clip from episode 1. It was a stressful episode of our podcast, The State of Women. It's called The Divided States of Abortion. Let's go.
And the end of Roe v. Wade is a timely example and part of the reason we started the show. The U.S. is no longer going to nationally protect the right to choose whether and when to have a baby, even though a broad majority of Americans favor keeping the abortion protections in Roe versus Wade.
And a complicated and potentially devastating road lies ahead for people who can become pregnant in America.
Gina, I remember this episode being really stressful to talk about.
Girl, I was mad. I heard it in my voice. I was mad. I was big mad.
We were a little bit upset about this. But one thing I love about this podcast is that we really shared, our real feelings and our real experiences. And abortion in the U.S. is one of the most important issues facing women and pregnant people in America today. And it's hard to ignore how our rights are being stripped away right in front of us with the overturn of Roe versus Wade.
100%. But there is hope. We found some.
Yes.
We've had some positive news coming out of the midterms and incredible innovations from leaders in the field. For example, RED Moon Project is driving city-level legislation to inhibit criminalization of abortion, and Planned Parenthood now has deployed mobile clinics on state borders. We've also saw a massive mobilization of women across the country that voted in the midterms, and I'm excited because today we have 2 great leaders in this space joining us.
2 fabulous leaders, yes.
Absolutely. Hello, we are overjoyed to have y'all with us today. We have Ashanti Golar and Julie Castro Abrams here to discuss the current state of women with our audience. First off, I'm so excited to introduce both of you and introduce Ashanti Golar, president of Emerge. Emerge's mission is to fundamentally change the face of politics in this country by breaking down barriers, opening doors, and creating pathways for democratic women to get involved in politics. Thanks for celebrating the podcast with us, Ashanti.
Oh, congratulations to both of you, and thank you for having me. It was a great week for women, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yes. Ashanti, it's so nice to have you. Let's just kind of jump right into this. The second episode of The State of Women explores why women's representation in state government matters. Mm-hmm. Would you talk about how important elections are at the state level and the work Emerge is doing across our country to make sure that women are in places where decisions are being made?
Absolutely. Let's start with the broad political picture when it comes to elected offices. There are 520,000 elected offices in this country. That's 520,000 people that we vote for that get to shape our lives with the stroke of a pen. President, vice president, there are just 2 of those offices. Congress, just 535. The rest are at the state and local level. That is where the majority of these elected officials are at. At Emerge, we want to make sure that women from all walks of life are represented, that they have their seat at the table. Our Emerge 2035 vision centers women of the new American majority, Black, Brown, and Indigenous women, women of color, young women, unmarried women, LGBTQ women. We're not waiting for them to become the majority before we want for them to have their seat at the table. We're doubling down now in doing that work, and we see it. When we have women at the table, they bring their lived experiences, and we get to see that in the policies that come out. And elected offices have so much discretion and impact over our lives. There are offices that do have a say in reproductive freedom. There are offices that have a say in if Medicare, Medicaid expansion happens. They impact our taxes. There was a woman one time when I worked in the Obama administration and I was at an event and she came running after me, tugging on my shoulder, wanting me to like tell President Obama to fix a pothole in her street. I'm like, ma'am, President doesn't do that. Who is your local city council, county commission person? And she goes, oh, I don't know who that is. And I said, and that's why you still have that pothole. Everything really goes back to what is happening at the state and local level. And we need to increase women's representation there, especially with everything that we're seeing that is happening at the national level. We got to make sure we got strong women in positions of power in states across the country.
And the church say amen.
Yeah, amen.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And we also have to introduce Miss Julie Castro Abrams, the founder and CEO of How Women Lead. This is an organization that's passionate about gender equity, working to bring more women into positions of power and influence, increase funding for women founders, and supporting critical equity issues. So Julie, we're so happy that you're here, and you know that gender equity is the center of this podcast, and we can't talk about equity if we're not going to talk about money. So, for example, when we were doing these episodes, we learned that in 2019, business startups led by women garnered just 3.4% of all venture capital, and then in 2021, that number dropped to roughly 2%, which is crazy. So I want you to explain to us, first off, why did it drop? And then what can we do to change it, as in how do individuals and organizations boost opportunities for women founders?
Yeah. All right, ladies. Well, first I want to say thank you. Thank you for giving voice. This is what has to happen today. We're the first generation that has had women like us, right? First 30 years of work experience, power and influence and some wealth. We can change all of these things, but we have to get together. We have to do it together. We need unifying voices. We need people who are really making sure people are educated and have the kind of information that Ashanti just talked about. But if you think about, who gets rich in the United States of America, who creates jobs, it's people who are building companies. Mm-hmm. The number that you just said was egregious and terrible. The fact that only 2% of all venture funding goes to companies founded by women. I just want you to think about that. Of course, if you're black or brown, the numbers are so minuscule, you can blink an eye and that's over. But just think about why that would be the case. All of us have to be really thinking about 98% of all the money goes to men. And in fact, we've had people who've had failed companies, massive, problems with integrity. And literally those people close down those companies. Everyone loses money. They open another company the next day. And the biggest venture firms in the United States hand them $350 million. We have such bad behavior in this space. To me, we're not going to be able to convince the venture capitalists who are now running things to change their behavior fast enough for me. We women need to come together. We need to invest our money and collectively say we're going to change this country and make it look different. We all are investing something somehow in our retirement accounts, maybe even a donor advised fund. All of those vehicles are investing money somewhere, and we need to think like, who's investing that money and where is that being invested? Unfortunately, some of us start to look into it and we're like, oh my God, like this is being invested in stuff related to guns or fossil fuels or things I don't believe in at all. So it's uncomfortable for some of us, but we have got to take the blinders off and we got to start interrogating how we are showing up, what we're doing with the resources that we have. And that's not just money, it's also power and influence. And you just heard from Ashanti, like, Ashanti could change anything we want to have changed if she put her mind to it. She is that powerful and influential and can gather other women to come together to move those mountains. That's what we need to be doing. There's all kinds of like technical things, and I'm working on some big change, legislative change, et cetera. But it's us, ladies. We're who we've been waiting for, and we have the power, wealth, and influence to step into it and change things. One final thing for you to think about. You guys hear about companies going public, right? They go to the New York Stock Exchange and ring the bell and make all this money, right? How many companies founded by women in the history of the United States do you think have gone public on the New York Stock Exchange?
I don't know, but I wish it was one of our trivia questions.
I know, that's a really good question.
Well, it's 20. Like, how is that possible?
Wow.
The numbers are so small. You need a massive sea change to fix things. You can't just say incrementally, please be better. That's not going to do the trick. So I'll stop at that.
It's good to know these things too. That's why me and Gina we learned so much, researching these episodes and just finding out these things that you really don't think about in your day to day. But when you actually hear the numbers and see the percentages, it's quite disturbing. So Ashanti, I want to come back to you and just talk to you about how Roe versus Wade was overturned and how your company and your organization has really changed their strategy since this decision came down.
Yeah. The minute the Dobbs decision was leaked to Politico, we saw a huge surge in interest, and that did not surprise me at all. I think so many people just thought that, it wouldn't be that bad, it wouldn't ignite women in this way. And like Gina, like you said, women are big mad. I don't want to say they were big mad. Women are big mad. And we saw that this week in the election. And for us, what we did is whenever we have these moments in time where women really get invigorated to run, we want to make sure that we are that resource to support them. If it is that they want to run for office, if it's that they know that great woman who should run for office, where can they send her? If they want to support a woman who is on the ballot, if they want to donate to organizations like Emerge to do the work, to continue to do the work that we do. That was our main strategy. And it's why we have this national structure where we have 27 affiliates on the ground doing this work 365 days a year. We do national boot camp trainings for women who are in states where we don't have affiliates. We are always going to be ready to help women meet this moment. And we saw so many people visit our website. For a minute there, I was like, is our website going to crash? Like, that would be great. But women wanted to see how they could channel the anger that they had into running for elected office. Yes. We had 300 women take one of our Step Forward training programs, which is just a 101 to think about all the things that you should take into consideration when you run for office. We are in recruitment right now for our signature programs in our states. We know that for so many women, this is going to be their why. Mm-hmm. I tell this to women all the time when they want to run for office, know your why, because that is what is going to get you through. It's going to get you through those hard days of campaigning. It's going to get you through those hard days when you're on the doors and you're just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And it's going to help you when you are in elected office and you're able to make that change. It is what keeps you grounded. And for so many women, ensuring that we have access to reproductive rights, freedom, justice, it absolutely is their why for this entire new generation too of young women who I'm just so excited about. They showed up this week as voters showing their power. The polls missed them. The polls missed them, everyone. That's why it was off. Everyone's like, Shanti is going to be so bad. And I'm like, first of all, we always have a good night at Emerge. But are you looking at these polls? Where are the young women? Where are the Black and brown women? Where are the LGBTQ women? No offense to our older women. We love you all too. But if you're polling a 70-year-old suburban woman on reproductive justice, and, and she's out of that stage of life. She doesn't have any daughters. She doesn't have any grandkids or nieces and nephews. She's not thinking that way. Yeah. But there were those other women too who were older and still realize abortion is an economic issue. That is also what the polls got wrong. Oh, voters are either going to the polls because they care about the economy or they care about abortion. Abortion is an economic issue, period. And you saw that as well. So we continue to see women want to be actively engaged. So many of the organizations you all have talked about, we partner with them at Emerge. But this is the continuation of the women's movement and us protecting these rights. 21 million women and counting have lost the right to have a say over their body. And we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can at the state and local level to help those women.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have to ask both of you, like, how does it feel for you to be doing this work? You know, we're so thankful that there's all these organizations that are out here, you know, leading the charge. Imagine if no one was being vigilant or doing anything to make sure we're protected or pushing it forward. How does it feel internally for you to know that you're helping make a difference for the future generation, for us, for everyone?
Well, I'll just chime in first and say I have good days, I have bad days. I worked at the Illinois Pro-Choice Alliance in 1989. I'm way older than all of you. And to see the Dobbs decision was heartbreaking. It's like, oh my God, I have spent my entire career working on this. How painful. But this is the thing that also I get all the time. I get to see women, you know, if you want a woman to go into political office, I think you have to ask her 9 times. You have to encourage her 9 times before she puts her hat in the ring. I love being the encourager, that person who's like, hey, let me demystify this for you. Walk across this line and just watching what happens for her and everybody around her when she changes how she's showing up, what she says is possible for her in her leadership is fantastic. And, you know, we have some wins, you know, in California. Think about the decisions of public companies like Google and Amazon and Nike, right? These companies have a huge impact on us because of who they're hired, because, you know, they might be where we work. There might be products that we're using. We have got to move the needle in terms of the leadership in those companies, right? So in California, Senator Hannah Beth Jackson from Southern California pushed forward legislation requiring public companies like those to have up to 3 women on their boards, minimally 3 if you have 6 or more board members. We moved the needle in California in not a long amount of time from 12% of the board members on public companies were women. Now it's 32%. This was just in a short window of time. Think about the power and influence. Those women are the ones who are also influencing the corporations that are investing in different public policies. Corporations are massive movers in terms of, who's getting funding and what issues are being put on the table. If you think corporations aren't sort of mapping out where we're going in this country, you're being a little naive and you might want to take the blinders off. So to me, and the more women we get into those tables, the better. And I'll just say one more thing, there's some interesting things that happen. So you get a woman, you get a person of color that joins a new group, right? That is, let's say all white guys, right? Yes, we come with perspective and great, intellect, and we're high performers and we do our research, we do all kinds of things right. But actually what happens is the whole group changes because we walk in the door. Men start doing more research. They start preparing better. They ask different questions. It upgames everybody when you have diversity in a group, whatever the group that is, right? Everybody is better off. And the financial returns are significant, but there's also sometimes a life and death potential here. And obviously when we're talking about politics, that's what we're talking about. Product recalls, like something that could hurt you, kill you, right? They happen 3 times faster when you have a woman on the board. Think about that.
That's incredible.
So you use that just as an example. It's not just about that issue. It's like in every part of our lives, if we do not have diverse voices and representation, we can all lose out and it can become really significant.
Yeah.
100% diverse voices are essential for shedding light on things that don't get addressed in these rooms. And the more diversity we see, the more change we can affect.
And Ashanti, before we close this out, I wanna ask you the same question. Just how do you feel doing this work? And just to add something on, like, how do you take care of yourself doing this work?
Oh, yes. So I am blessed to do this work. I took over Emerge actually in February of 2020, right before the pandemic hit. Not a part of my 90-day plan, y'all, but it is what gets me through being able to wake up every day doing this work. We started talking about when the pandemic hit how leaders matter because we saw how our Emerge alums were leading their communities, the ones not only elected office, but the ones who are running campaigns and shifted their campaign to focus on being a resource to get information to people in their communities, having a part of their website that was dedicated to this is where you can go for financial help. This is where you can go if you unfortunately need food. That is what women do when running for office, when they are in office. And I'm in San Francisco right now. Welcome to my hotel room. This is where I'm at because we are doing our annual event tomorrow. And we had 650 alums who were on the ballot last Tuesday, and 71% of them won their races. And our incumbents had a 97% re-election rate. That is the power of women. When I look at Nevada, I grew up in Nevada. It was the first state to have a majority woman legislative chamber with their state house. And Emerge alums did that. And that made me so proud being a co-founder of Emerge Nevada to see the fact that my nieces and my nephews get to grow up in a better Nevada than I did because of Emerge Women. So I get to see the impact. I call our alums. I thank them for running. I congratulate them for running, but they are the absolute best. And self-care is super important. I'm very spiritual. I'm into astrology. All of my friends know that. My team members know that. But I also have a therapy session once a week. We cannot neglect our mental health. And I just have the best therapist ever. No shame. Let's be real. No shame.
No shame.
At all. I have that session with her. It's like that's every Monday. She is great. I try to just every day too, close down the computer, just walk away. If I'm home, I'm just like, go sit on the couch for a bit. Just walk around outside if the weather is good. It is something that we have to make sure we're doing. Like if I want to be the best president for my team, that does mean that I have to make sure that my cup is full. Otherwise, I cannot do this work at the level that the team deserves, our alums deserve, and that our country deserves. So that's a little bit of how I take care of myself. And of course, I love like the massages. Those things help too. Those things help too.
Ashanti, I want to say thank you, first of all, for talking about self-care. I don't think anybody really goes into how important our self-care is for our mental, our physical, and we just don't concentrate on that. I think for generations, it was frowned upon to even bring up what your mental state was. And so now that these conversations are at the forefront of so many things, I appreciate you sharing that. And I also wanted to ask, what do you say to women who are hesitant to get involved in politics? How do you inspire them and get them maybe out of their fear or whatever the hesitation is?
First of all, there is a place for you in politics. It is big. You can be a candidate. You can be the campaign manager. You can be the campaign secretary or treasurer. There's so many roles. You can be the activist. You can be a donor. Small dollar donations are huge, everyone, especially for women campaigns. That is actually what gets them through. I'm just a little Black girl from Las Vegas who turned on C-SPAN one day and fell in love with politics.
I love that.
From a political family, I didn't have all the fancy internships. I started off volunteering, and I volunteered for women, and I volunteered for women who saw things in me that I didn't see in myself. And now I'm here leading Emerge. So don't think that there's a certain type for politics, because I hear that too when women want to run for office. Oh, I don't have the look. I don't have the family or the career. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, just out of the heads, out of the head. The perfect candidate is you. You are the perfect candidate, and your community needs you. So if you want to run for office, know you have what it takes, and you can come to Emerge and we just polish it up for you and get you out there and support other women who are on the ballot. Work on their campaigns, donate, tweet about them, post about them. You absolutely belong here, because if we want to increase women's representation and especially new American majority representation, we have to know we got to step up and do it. And like Julie said, some days are great, some days are hard. I don't pretend like it's all sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops. Some days I'm like, you know what? I'm about to go work at Sephora and play in makeup all day because your girl is tired. But we are needed here. You all are needed here. So please join the four of us in this great work that we do to make sure that we truly have a reflective and inclusive democracy.
Ashanti, you just brought up something that I just want to reinforce, because it happens across the board for everything we experience in life. We all have imposter syndrome, men, women, all of us. We all have it. So when you sort of leap into something new, whether it's going into politics, whether it's investing, whether it's going on a corporate board, whether it's just, don't you remember that day you showed up at college, if you went to college, and you were like, they made a mistake. Every one of us feels that way at some point in time. But this is what I'm going to tell you. The day we get women who are not qualified on corporate boards will be the day that we know that we won. Frankly, there are so many doors that are open to you, and you are beyond the best qualified person to be in that room. You just, in the past, have been excluded from those places, but they need you. And I think, just again, going back to what Ashanti said from the very beginning, you have to remember your why. Why are you doing this?
Yes.
And this is what I always like to remind everyone. You shining your light and stepping into your power and being confident and taking risks gives a signal to other women and girls. So if you need a little boost for your own confidence, remember, my daughter's watching you. She's getting her cues from where to stand in the world, how to show up from you. So I hope that all of you will think about, what is the example I want to give? You may not have gotten it for yourself, but you can give it to somebody else by showing them what it looks like when women lead, and women believe in themselves and their sisters and each other.
Julie, can I ask you to maybe give us a couple of steps for women who maybe want to get on corporate boards? What are the steps that they can take?
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is one of the most important things for you to know. There are a million types of corporate boards. I'm not qualified to go on the board of a public company like Google. I've never worked in the C-suite of one of those companies, which is often what they ask of you. But I'm on the boards of a whole bunch of early stage startups because that's my area of expertise. So one thing I would say to you is, like, look around, see who you know. Most of us have friends who are starting companies, right? At some point in time. Maybe it's something really tiny, but raise your hand and say, hey, I'd love to be an advisor for you. I'd like to get in the game. Now, there are all kinds of training programs and other resources out there. Our organization, if you're ready to go on a corporate board and you've got a bio, throw it on my website at howwomenlead.com. You don't have to pay anything. We want to know you. We want to connect you with opportunities. But just get started. In our venture firm, one of the things that people say to me is, I've been working with venture capitalists when in my corporate career all these years, no one ever invited me to invest. And I just want you to know, the invitation, I'm inviting you right now. I'm inviting you to go on boards. I'm inviting you to invest. I hope Ashante will join me in saying, inviting you to lead, whether it's politics or anything else. You are invited. You have permission. We just gave it to you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, co-sign.
Amazing. Yes, amazing.
Ashanti, how can people get involved with Emerge if they want to?
Yes, you can visit our website, emergeamerica.org. That has all the information that you need about our training programs. We list our alums in elected office and our candidates, so you can find the great Emerge alum in your state. We are very active on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, even at Emerge America. So you can follow us there. And we are having our big event, as I mentioned. So we have information on that on our website if you would like to join us in celebrating all of these fabulous women who won. I'm really on cloud nine today because Governor-elect Katie Hobbs is an Emerge alum. So very, very excited about her because she is also an alum of the program, but she was the executive director of Emerge Arizona and then ran for office, and she ascended to higher office. So I think she's also a perfect example of what we talk about at Emerge, about lifting as we climb. When she ran for higher office, an Emerge alum replaced her, and she's now inspiring more women to step up and run. So join us at Emerge. It's a lot of fun. It's so much fun.
You guys are amazing. One thing that's clear from talking to both of you is that when women are leading and women are there, it's like you're going to have this safe space. You don't always have that, but it's like you guys are doing the work, but also creating a space that's affirmative, that's supportive, and what else do we need? That's what we always need. So
we need that network. We call it the Emerge Network. Our alums call it the sisterhood because we truly believe in being there for one another and lifting each other up.
Yeah, for sure. So I hope you guys stay with us because we're gonna move on to
one more thing before we go. Julie, wait, can you give information on how people can find more info about how women lead, please?
Yeah, we're at howwomenlead.com. And that's for all kinds of leadership and getting involved in collective action with our sisters, but also howwomeninvest.com. If you want to get funding for your startup, I want to meet you. So you can just pop your deck onto that website. And if you're also interested in investing in venture or maybe demystifying and learning a little bit more about it, the door's swinging wide open for you.
Julie, I believe you when you say, I want to meet you. I want to see you. Like I actually believe that you would be meeting these folks if they do reach out. Oh my gosh. So this was about money and representation, but on the State of Women podcast, we're talking about all types of issues. We talk about the facts, but we're also sharing our own experiences living in this country as women and women of color, mental health, trans rights, divorce, child marriage, and all of these issues illustrate where gender equity is lacking. And as I said before, we shared a lot of facts over these 10 episodes that really deeply surprised us.
Oh yeah, we were surprised. And if you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, why were you surprised? Because you think you're an expert. Well, let's prove it then. Let's jump into a little trivia. Play along by answering the questions in the comments for those of you who are watching the live stream, and we'll let you know if you're right. Okay, Kimberly, are you ready to kick it off?
Yes. I will say, though, that these questions, I think, are a little bit lighter than what we discover in the episode. But let's see. Let's see who knows. Ashanti, Julie, good luck, okay? We're going to start off pretty easy here. Who was the first female Secretary of State? Was it A?
Let's look at the comments. Let's see if anybody knows. Let them know the answers.
Okay, so is it A, Hillary Clinton, B, Madeleine Albright, C, Eleanor Roosevelt, or D, Lady Bird Johnson? Let me know if you need me to repeat these.
Right. What do we have here? Let's look to see who's got the answer in the chat.
Now I know Hillary. What? Right? One fun.
Ashanti.
Ooh. You guys let me know. We got some people guessing over in here. We got some people. Oh, look at y'all. Okay.
Just for a reminder, A, Hillary Clinton, Madeleine Albright, Eleanor Roosevelt, or Lady Bird Johnson, first female Secretary of State.
First female Secretary of State. Kimberly, let them know.
Okay, before I give the answer, Julie, Ashanti, I want your answers. Do you need to call a friend? Do you need a 50-50? Let me know.
I feel strong that they know it.
Yes.
What do we have?
Well, I got to volunteer. I was a volunteer with an organization that brought Madeleine Albright to come speak to us, and I think she was our gal.
All right, Julie. Give it up for Julie with the correct answer. Madeleine Albright from 1992 to 2001 is the correct answer, and a lot of people in the chat got it right.
Yes, go ahead, people in the chat. Y'all got it. Also, hi to everybody that's saying hi from my shows in San Diego. Thank y'all for watching.
All right, Gina, what's the next one we have here?
Let's jump into the next one. Although women make up 51% of the U.S. population, we represent 32% of the House of Representatives. What percentage of the Senate are women? A, 12%, B, 24%, C, 35%, or D, 47%. So let's see. The clock is ticking. Let's see who.
I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer, but I don't think it's 47%.
I imagine. I don't think we'd be doing the podcast if it was 47%.
I would get to take a vacation.
Exactly.
So let's see. Let's look at the comments. I'm looking at the comments. I see a couple people answering. Thank you for answering.
Tell me the numbers one more time.
I'm going to give you the numbers one more time. Is it A, 12%? And we're talking about what percentage of the Senate are women?
Only
12%, A, B, 24%, C, 35%, or D, 47%. I'll give you a couple more seconds, and then I'll go to Ashanti for her answer on this.
I'm going to call a friend. I'm going to go with Ashanti's answer.
Yes. What's Ashanti's answer? What do we have there? Because I see some right answers here.
I have to look at percentages a lot. I know everyone saw me dropping lots of facts. 24%.
Hey, is that right?
And yes, you are absolutely right. And people in the comments that commented 24%. Yes, 24%.
Did that change in the last week at all?
What unfortunately did not change is still no Black women in the United States Senate.
Still working for that change then. Still working for that change. Let's change that 24%. Kim, let's hit him with the next one.
Okay, this is another representation question. So I'm going to already put my dibs on whatever Ashanti's answer is. How many states have female governors? Is it A, 5? Is it B, 7? Is it C, 9? Or is it D, 15? Whatever Ashanti says, she's my 50-50, call a friend.
Right.
So what are we doing currently? Or are we doing like our governor-elect?
So that's a really good question. And this is why you are leading Emerge, because of these technicalities and distinctions.
That's
You're
right.
correct. So there's a different answer after you count the new women from 2023. So let's just go with 2022 first.
Okay.
These are where these numbers are from.
Okay.
5, 7, 9, or 15 female governors
Let's see.
currently.
I see you in the comments, Cody. I see you knowing some insider information.
Julie, I trust you too.
I don't know. I got to go with Ashanti.
We're all banking on this.
We're counting
Yep.
on you. And Stacey Abrams is missing.
I know.
So Ashanti, what's your answer?
I'm going to go with 9.
Ding ding. Let's give it
Ding,
up for
ding,
Ashanti.
ding.
Ashanti.
9, but I will say this. In 2023, it will be 12. So, Cody,
Yes.
that's right. He was right. So people
3 more
commenting.
governors in 2023. That's
Yep.
amazing. That's amazing. Okay, Gina, your turn.
I'm so excited about this question. This question is homage to one of the original women's rights defenders and an advisory committee member of the State of Women, Gloria Steinem. Where did Gloria Steinem go undercover and later write about the terrible working conditions and terrible pay? Was it A, Cosmo, B, Playboy, or C, Sports Illustrated? They all sound plausible. So, which one was it? I'll give you some time to answer in the comments. Again, the answers are A, Cosmo, B, Playboy, or C, Sports Illustrated.
I don't think I need to phone a friend for this one. I think I'm good.
You know what? I think a lot of people, I see you commenting, a lot of people in the comments are very confident with their answer here.
What are they saying?
A lot of them are going with B. A lot of them are going with B.
Interesting. What was the first one? Cosmo?
The first one was Cosmo.
Okay. And the last one was Sports Illustrated. Okay.
Sports Illustrated. So
I want to hear what Julie and Ashanti think.
Gloria Steinem is on the Emerge Advisory Board.
Uh-oh, she knows the answer.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to drop that little flex. She believes in Emerge, and it was Playboy.
Oh,
you are correct. The answer is Playboy. And for the people that answered that in the comments, you are correct. She went undercover at Playboy.
you guys are amazing. We want to thank everyone who played, and just big shout out and big thank you to Julie and Ashanti for joining us and celebrating.
Yes.
It means a lot to have you here with us as we launch this, and all the work you're doing is so incredible. So just sending lots of love and good energy to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yes. Good to see you guys.
Yes, thank you so much. And what a great group. What an amazing group that we had today. And thank you to everyone who stopped by. Thank you so much for joining us. We need to now we're armed with so much information now. We have some facts, we have some info, and you guys have facts and y'all have info now. And you know what we need to do to make equity happen. We also want to give a big shout out to another trailblazing woman, Danielle Moody, and her podcast, Woke AF. I just had the opportunity to join her podcast to discuss the state of women. And that episode is available where you get your podcast. Thank you to all partners who are working on the issues that affect our lives every day and leading change. If you need help accessing abortion resources, check out abortionfinder.org and Plan C pills.
Yes, and this is just getting started. It doesn't stop here. As we said, we have 10 episodes and we talk about so many things and we give so many resources and we learn so much. And while some of the details, as you know, Gina, are very sobering, we promise that we lighten it up, primarily because, Gina, you're funny. You are a funny,
I do my thing.
Woman. And we have lots of information for people to look at because we have to stay vigilant. All of these things are happening to us and we have to make sure we're on top of everything. So be sure to listen to our podcast, The State of Women. It's every Tuesday. It's streaming wherever you get your podcast, and make sure to follow, subscribe, share, do all the things that you listen and support.
Do all of the things.
Yes.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Right now, go check out our premiere episode, our very first, The Divided States of Abortion, from our new podcast, The State of Women.
Yeah.
Now, DJ Sammy, play us a little funky tune to get out of here.
Peace.
Hey, my jam right here.
I love this. DJ Sammy.
I said Sammy. I said, girl, I need more coffee. I say Sammy. I changed your name.
Yeah. Good to see you, Tina.
We're partying with the people.
Yes. Here at home, I literally dance like this by myself in my house all the time.
I only do chair dancing, exclusively chair dancing.
I don't stand up. I don't. Just like this.
It's too stressful. I can't.
And I record it by myself.
I think chair dancing, I'm nice. Nobody's going to beat my skills. I could win an award in chair dancing. I get out of the chair.
We got to do it together.
That's right. That's just like shower singing. Shower singing? I'm nice.
DJ Simmy's like, what?
You know how you kill it in the shower? In the shower, I am Whitney Houston.
You're Whitney Houston in the shower, but when
in
you
the
sit
shower.
on the sofa,
Outside the shower, I am a reject from any reality show that has ever rejected somebody hard. I would.
you don't sing in any of these episodes, thank God. Oh my gosh. Well, Gina, as always, I'm happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you.
I can't wait for everyone to hear the first episode, and I'm excited for all the rest. And I hate to say goodbye, but we have to say goodbye.
I know. We have to say goodbye, and I miss you, and I have absolutely loved this, and I'm so glad everybody joined us. This was a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody who joined. Please make sure to spread the word and share the podcast so we can start making some more change, because we're seeing change now. Let's make some more change, everybody. Until then,
and take care of yourselves.
Yes, take care of yourselves. Deuces, everybody.
Used to be. Try my people, turn up the music, turn down the lights. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright. Okay, alright. It's about damn time. Turn up the music, let's celebrate. I got a feeling I'm gonna be okay, alright. It's about damn time. You know what time it is. I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. You remind me of Friday fever when the sun went down. I could try to describe this feeling, but just come around. Lay it down for the night. Tell myself I'm alright. We're all a little bit tongue-tied.